So on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look into our 3 favorite sled exercises for basketball players. If you're a hooper, don't go anywhere. These are extremely effective and we're super excited to show you them today. Before we get going, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, become part of Project Pure Athlete. On the weekly, we're dropping new videos. We're coaches first and we want to make sure that you're taken care of. So become part of our family. So it's Coach Ty here again with Project Pure Athlete. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be taking a look, as I mentioned before, our 3 favorite sled exercises for basketball players. So you hoopers out there, get ready for it. We love sleds, and as coaches, our goal really is to improve the performance of our athletes, and sleds really bring a bunch of unique variables to the table when it comes to strength and conditioning. Number 1 is going to be super versatile. Really allows you to add attachments to the sled, move in different planes of action. I mean, you can move forward, you can push a sled, you can pull a sled, you can shuffle laterally with a sled, and you're going to get to see some of the ways we use those today. Number 2 is going to be, it doesn't have that eccentric overload, so you're not going to get that really dramatic lengthening of the muscle that results in muscle soreness. So it's really cool as an athlete to be able to go through workouts with sleds in them, and then the next day be able to keep lifting because you're not in that really extreme pain that we get from some of the other variables of lifting that we undertake. We also love the sled because it's very accessible, meaning that if you're a brand new athlete, I can throw you on a sled and you're going to figure it out pretty quickly. So if you haven't used the sled, don't be overwhelmed, don't be intimidated. You're going to be able to do all of these, and we're going to make sure that you have the proper cues to be able to perform those. The first one is sled drags. Sled drags have become really popularized over the last few years to help manage and treat things like jumper's knee. We love the sled drags, and what you'll see here is Coach Chase using a TRX band attached around the sled, and the TRX band provides a really cool structure to be able to get into this exercise and set yourself into the position really effectively. Arms are out in front. He's using an active shoulder. We call active shoulder as anything where we're pulling actively back into that upper back to make sure that the shoulder joints are protected as we load them. So if Chase was to just grab the actual TRX band and start walking backwards, you'd notice his arms would start to fall forward. And what happens there is all the energy and the effort gets kind of hinged into the actual shoulder capsule itself. We want the big muscles of our upper back, our posterior delts, and just the delts in general to be working really aggressively during this exercise. So as he's walking back, he's really thinking and focusing on a few key things. He's keeping himself low, so he's sitting down into that imaginary chair. That's really going to light up those quads. You will feel this in your quads very, very quickly, and we love it for that reason. Tasks the big muscles of the quadriceps, also the attachment sites where the actual quads insert into the knees, and builds a little bit more resilient and robust tendon structures because of the amount of time that we have under tension here. That's how we get into a lot of those tendons. Because they're not full of blood normally, we got to force a lot of blood into that area. So he walks backwards, he's staying tall, he's keeping a nice active shoulder, and he's walking, in this case, walking the length of the turf. But really, you can choose any length that you'd like. We want to make sure that you're taking yourself into that kind of area of discomfort. That's how we know we're really building that nice, strong base. Exercise number 2 is going to be lateral shuffle with the sled. Still using that TRX band. He's moving sideways through more of a defensive stance. This looks very similar to that defensive position that a basketball player would have to be in throughout the game, and that's why we love this exercise, is it builds that strength and resiliency moving in a different plane of action. So we're moving sideways now, and really going to help that athlete and help you as you perform these exercises to build strong glutes and strong external rotators, as well as just the drivers from the lateral aspect of our hip complex. A lot of those glute medius, minimus, even into the glute max, so that big kind of butt muscle. And then we also have some stabilization that occurs here as well to make sure that we keep ourselves moving in a nice straight line. So we love these lateral sled walks. Exercise number 3 is going to be lateral crossovers. So we're going to be stepping that rear leg in front and driving off that leg. So you're getting working muscles through both the lead and the trail leg in this case, in which we're working kind of contrasting complexes of muscles. On one side, we're working kind of the lateral aspect, and on the other side, we're working a little bit more of the medial or the inside of the leg to be able to bring ourselves back to that fixed starting position. So these crossovers, again, think basketball, think hoopers, think the way in which you move. You are constantly moving laterally, and then this variation is going to make sure that we take care of a lot of those positions for you, so that when you hit the positions, obviously you feel strong, feel confident, and can move through the game with the utmost of ease. At the end of the day, we want to be strong, resilient, adaptable athletes. That's the goal, bottom line. So some things to keep in mind on all of the sled exercises. Number one is going to be keep your chest, head, and eyes up. You're going to be looking toward the horizon or just a little bit above the horizon to help kind of keep ourselves associated with the ground appropriately. This is going to make sure that we're conditioning our body to push and pull loads while we're in the same position we would be in a game. If you're looking at the ground, your body tends to follow your eyes. So again, your momentum will be toward the floor. If you're looking up, same thing, just in reverse. It's going to put us back on our heels, going to distribute the weight a little bit inappropriately. Number two is going to be brace your core. What this means is creating a strong, rigid abdomen to help protect our spine, right? As we push and pull a sled, the energy that we're producing from our legs is going to be looking for those weak points. And if we're not engaged in our midsection, all that energy will try to leak out through things like our skeleton, through our spine, and through weak points in our musculature. Number three is going to be breathe. As you're moving through sled movements, it's very easy to spike that cardiovascular output. It's not easy, it can be very challenging. So make sure that you're actively breathing through these movements to circulate that oxygen and keep you plugging forward. Lastly is going to be set your intentions. With whatever variation of sled you're using, they're designed to work specific areas of the body. So put the focus and put the intention in that area to make sure that you're deliberately doing things like pushing into the floor and fully extending at all of your joints to get the most out of each and every exercise. Sleds are an excellent way to mix up your training, and we hope that these three variations are useful for you. If you are not a basketball player, don't worry. These variations work just as well for any other sport, so give them a go. If you found this video helpful, please smash the like button and click that subscribe button. Become part of our family. We want you on board. Thanks again. Coach Chai here with Project Pure Athlete, and we'll catch you in the next one.